Pitchfork, do you think modern soul music is catching up to the things you did years ago? Raphael Saadiq, it's definitely making its loop, and I'm not surprised. For a while, black people got scared because they felt they couldn't do true soul. But that's shifting now. More than anything, I just enjoy making it. You can go to sleep and dream about making that music, then you look up, and it's been 30 years. When you're making music that you really like, you don't really think about it, you just enjoy the moment. Even in working with Solange on a seat at the table, I couldn't tell you that a record was going to do that. I wasn't thinking about it. She has a huge mind for production. She's a lady with a child and a husband, so on a lot of levels, I wanted to be very respectful to her as a producer. At the same time, I was going through all these changes myself, so it was good to work with someone who works a little differently. Me and Solange would sit and talk for hours. She caught me when I was pissed. She had to hear it all. Afterwards, I thanked her for letting me be a part of it. You just have to show up and be there with an open mind to make music. The biggest reward in making Solange's album was watching girls and young women have an anthem, and then see the guys come and join in. That was huge. I feel like people are still coming to join in every day. With the release of albums like D'Angelo's Black Messiah, Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, and Kamasi Washington's The Epic, there seems to be a resurgence in powerful black soul music, the kind you've always created. How did those albums resonate with you? To Pimp a Butterfly, which I loved, hit me at a critical time in my life. That record really held me up. When I heard Alright, that was my anthem. I was in my car damn near tearing up listening to that song. At that moment, I had a longtime friend who was my manager, but everything became stagnant. Also, I was still single, and I knew I had to make some changes. I was losing my dad. I'd been in the music industry for 30 years. I started looking at my life a little differently. That record had a lot of development from people like Thundercat, Terrace Martin, and others. These were people who really wanted to play and wanted to be heard. I'm a huge hip-hop fan, so anytime I can hear those categories come together and breathe, it opens up the sound for broader interpretation. Then you have Kamasi, who was a breath of fresh air for the whole world, for everyone. All shapes, sizes, and colors. When we need something, it manifests. It manifested through these people who practiced their craft for a long time. It manifested through Kendrick and his love of jazz. Sly and the Family Stone bassist Larry Graham said something to me a long time ago: there's a family tree of music with all these different branches. Kamasi played with me, and of course I played with D'Angelo. We've all been in each other's circles. So to see soul, jazz, and hip-hop fuse together, it's very exciting. How much did losing your father impact you? I lost my father, but I gained everything. My pops was so adamant about being straight up, not being good, but being straight up. I remember being sad, but not as sad, because he took care of his kids. He didn't play any games with us. He told me how he talked to Malcolm X, like how me and you are talking now. He just knew people. He used to show up. It was a challenge for my parents to raise kids in East Oakland, especially back then. But as stern as he was, he wanted to save everybody. So when he passed, I gained even more respect for him. I never looked at any record executive like they were some type of god, but I looked up to my father, so much that I thought there's nobody higher but God. He was such a force in my life, and in the lives of so many friends I grew up with. He would give advice to people in the way they needed it. Your dad was a blues singer in his youth. What did he teach you about music? He'd always talk about honky-tonk. He was big on blues and singing. When Sam Cooke died, he said they wanted him to be the next Sam Cooke. I didn't know if that was true, but he did say that. My dad had a high tenor voice. That's one thing I learned from my father. I learned how to use my voice as a tenor.